Webber and Villeneuve pitting. Webber in the Williams Cosworth, Villeneuve in the BMW, both having solid drives this afternoon.
Yeah, Michael Schumacher, as you say, is not able to find that headline speed. He's going a little bit slower than he did the first stint, but Alonso is faster. He's considerably faster. He's really comfortable in this car now. And Louise Goodman has some news for us.
Yeah, I'm down at Super Guri. It's all happening down here. I tell you, it started off when Ide came in to refuel. He didn't get any fuel into his car, so he did another lap, came in again. As we saw, came in at exactly the same time as Takuma Sato and then proceeded to stall the car. They pushed him out of the way, put Sato in, thought they'd refueled him again. The refueling rig malfunctioned, so Sato has had to make a second stop as well. And poor Ide is still sat in the garage trying to get his car going again.
And what about this on his Formula One debut? 11th place man in the Williams. Nico Rosberg has just done the fastest lap of anybody so far, a 1:32.5, as Raikkonen comes through there. A 1:32.5 then for Nico Rosberg, pushing very hard indeed, trying to catch Liuzzi, who's currently in 10th place.
Button then, we know how good he is under braking down here. Surely he'll have another lunge. Montoya should be ready for it this time though. Button's passed him once in here and he starts to cover him off, but he can't do it. Nicely done. Jensen gives him a little flick as much to say, hey, don't bother coming round the outside, I'm off. And well, he's mighty down there, isn't he? That's a pleasure to see.
For the second time this afternoon then, Jensen Button passes Juan Montoya for fourth place into turn one, and that move was a little bit more cagey, needless to say, because Montoya had been stung before and was trying to close off all the opportunities, but nevertheless Button is through into fourth place at 32 of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Kimi Raikkonen has made his one and only pit stop of the afternoon. He's gone from third place before the stop down to sixth place behind Mark Webber in the Williams. But one man who was having a good afternoon was Jacques Villeneuve, but a moment ago a very fiery exit for the French Canadian. And look at that.
The right bank of the 2.4 V8, the pistons hits the valves, and you get crankcase pressure. The oil gets put up into the combustion chamber, it burns away, and then it'll put itself out. Jacques, though, deciding he wants out of there very quickly. Michael Schumacher leads by 1.1 seconds. Alonso.
And Mark Webber is doing a super job in fifth place at the moment, keeping Montoya honest, who's fourth, just 3 seconds ahead of him. And, well, Webber will have Kimi Raikkonen trying to get past him at some point in the near future. Here's Ralf Schumacher lining up his teammate, Jarno Trulli, into turn one. Goes very deep on the brakes and makes it stick. Ralf Schumacher then up into 15th place.
OK, mate, we need to be close in the next couple of laps.
That's obviously Renault expecting Ferrari to pit Michael Schumacher in the next 2 laps, but he's still 20 seconds adrift of the lead, but he's pulled 6.5 seconds away. But oh, DC, don't let the brakes off quick. That'll be a horrible flat spot on that right front, and he's got to carry that through to the end of the race. Louise has found Jacques Villeneuve.
Jacques, I bet that caught your attention.
Yeah, well, too bad the car was running strong. We're running a lot stronger than in quali, and it was going well, so I'm not sure what happened. It just happened suddenly.
Disappointment obviously in the race, but on the whole, not too bad a weekend for you. It's looking quite positive this season.
Well, it's been a tough weekend, but after yesterday's quali, we thought we had saved a few laps, so we could do more in Malaysia, but now it looks like we'll be back to the low mileage.
Thanks, Jacques.
Jacques Villeneuve there, teammate of Nick Heidfeld, who we saw going out a moment or two ago with a big fiery explosion out the back of his engine. Just explain what you mean by the flat spot there on David Coulthard's tyres. He's got to carry that through to the end of the Grand Prix.
There it goes now. He locks it on the white line, line that stops you going onto the track after a pit exit. And that'll have a flat zone on it now that at 200 miles an hour shakes your eyeballs. You can barely see where you're going.
Race leader Michael Schumacher, as predicted by the Renault team over the team radio a minute ago, he comes in for his pit stop. Great racing here in Bahrain at the front and in the midfield. As you can see for yourself, in 2006, quite a few teams are on the same level as each other at the front and in the midfield, and that promises well for the season. But this is a vital moment now for Alonso. He's been released. He knows he's got 3 or 4, maybe even 5 laps in which he can try and build a lead on Michael Schumacher, and he can make his own stop and rejoin in front of the old master.
Yeah, but he's behind Jensen Button. It's not worked out quite so well for him this time, although Button's flying is not going to hold him up much. But
these are the winning laps, mate.
These are winning laps, absolutely right. This is where now This is the head-to-head. Has Alonso got something extra over the great Michael Schumacher now when it counts? Flavio knows this is the moment.
It is in his hands to win this Grand Prix. He has been given the advantages tactically by the Renault team. He's longer on both the runs. That's an advantage. He's getting frustrated. We're seeing the calm man, the calm Spaniard, getting a bit frustrated here. He wants this car out of the way because it's costing him possibly the Grand Prix. Michael's first sector has been a 29.6, the fastest anybody has done so far in this Grand Prix. Schumacher's aware that Alonso's got problems. He's putting the hammer down, and this frustration. Blue flags, he says. Where are the blue flags? Not sure which car that was. It looked like one of the BMW, or the only BMW, I think, left in the field. Heidfeld, that was the man that held Alonso up. What's his lap time this time? Last time 32.7. This time a 32.9. He's lost some vital moments there. It could come down to pit stop here as to whether or not he's got enough in his pocket.
Yeah, that could well have cost Alonso the race, and I think there's still yet another car ahead of him too, as Rosberg passes Coulthard for 9th position. Rosberg absolutely flying in this second half of the race.
It'll be a shorter stop, remember, than Ferrari, less fuel going in.
Well, he was 1.3 behind when Michael pitted. So that's how. Oh, that was a great stop. Michael was 8.7. He's 7.7.
Second and a half faster.
Yeah. So he's going to get there. It's going to be very, very close. That traffic costing Lily. Here comes Michael, and I think he's going to get it, isn't he? Michael's doing 200 miles an hour. That is going to be so close. And surely Michael's got the momentum. No, Alonso's done it. Alonso's done it. Oh, Michael's trying to go around the outside, and he's not going to let him through. Just enough on that pit stop. Just a little bit less of a fuel. The Renault boys did a brilliant job, and Alonso takes the lead. How close do you need it?
On the tightest of margins, our Grand Prix won and lost, and you just had a great illustration of that right there. Despite the traffic, despite the frustrations, Alonso came into the teamwork, put him back out there. The Renault mechanics, by my reckoning, 1.4 seconds faster on their stop than were Ferrari. Part of that, of course, because less fuel going in. It was so very close. This is what it looked like from Michael's point of view.
And he's looking and thinking, what colour is that car? Oh no, it's the Renault. I'll go round the outside of him. And Alonso just runs him, hangs him out to dry on the outside. Perfectly legal and correct to do that. You can take your own line. If Michael chooses to park his beautiful Ferrari there, then he's going to get nerfed to the outside. Alonso just looking in his mirror thinking, that'll do for me. And now it's Michael Schumacher eating the dirty air off the Renault. And I think ultimately Alonso, we've seen in the early stages of fresh tyres, Alonso has had the better pace. Button finally pits 2 from the lead as it happens. Where's he going to be? He's got to get back out in front of Montoya somehow, and he's still in with a great shot, a great chance. Oh, that's going to be so close with the Toyota, and the Toyota is going into the pits. So Jensen, now the Toyota's come straight through the pit, and Jensen's just going to nail him up the inside. So very, very nasty. Alonso leads the Grand Prix.
Jensen Button had a poor start, dropped from 3rd on the grid down to 6th, but managed to fight his way back up into 3rd. He's now battling with Kimi Raikkonen, as you can see. As a result of his second stop, Jensen Button lost out to Kimi Raikkonen, who is one stopping here this afternoon. He had to start from the back of the grid after a problem in qualifying, and he's fought his way through. And crucially, as Jensen Button came out from his second stop, held up by a Toyota, and Raikkonen got an advantage, as you can see, just a few car lengths, but it could be enough to deprive Button of a podium in this first Grand Prix. We lost Felipe Massa to a spin, and then he had a problem in the pits that dropped him out of contention. Rubens Barrichello, Button's teammate, has had problems as well with his gearbox, and he is running down in 15th place. Not a factor here this afternoon.
A fantastic drive from Rosberg, in particularly the second half of the race. He is the fastest man out there, and he's still doing faster sectors as well. And who's that pulling over to the side of the road? And it's Barrichello letting that battle through. Barrichello having a dismal afternoon down in 15th place. And well, we know where Button's going to have a go at Raikkonen if he gets half a chance. That's down in the Button zone at turn 1, where he's been so mighty. And that's Rosberg pitting then. So Rosberg he's in the points at the moment. That's going to release Klein and possibly even Coulthard then back into the points situation with Red Bull. Red Bull and Williams really close this afternoon.